Hello, I hope you and your family are well today. Okay, let's make this a little bit look bigger. So today, what are we going to do today? We're going to look at life now and before. So what is this a picture of? Yes, it's a picture of the English flag or United Kingdom, the flag of the United Kingdom, and that's where you are living now. So which tense do you think we're going to use? Yes, that's correct. Present simple tense, talking about now. And we're also going to look at life before. And this is a picture of, what do you think? It's a picture of the world. And of course, many of you come from different countries all over the world. So we're going to look at questions and answers and sentences about your life before in the countries that you come from. So we're going to practice asking and answering questions clearly. So some speaking, giving sentences about your lives as well, listening and completing information about another person's life. You're going to listen to a recording and writing sentences about changes in your life, changes from before to now. So let's start the slideshow. Okay, so what I would like you to do first is have a look at the pictures. See if you can make some questions using the pictures to help you. So have a look at the pictures and see if you can write down on a piece of paper with a pencil your questions. Don't forget, we're talking about life now. So you're going to use which tense? That's correct, present simple tense. About your life now in the UK. And pause as well to give yourself some time to write those down. Okay, how did you do? Well, our first picture is a car. And the first question you should have written is, do you drive? So you could ask somebody, you know this question, do you drive? The answer is either yes, I do, or no, I don't. So we're thinking about your life now. Do you drive? Can you answer that question? And this picture was actually about work. Do you work? The same answers could either be yes, I do, or no, I don't. Do not, don't. We shorten that word, those two words. Do not, don't. No, I don't. Maybe you can think of some more questions to ask. If the person says, yes, I do, you might want to ask them about their job. Like, can you think of a question? Maybe you want to pause now and write down a question for that. And then also where work. Perhaps again you'd like to pause and write down a question. How did you do? You could have asked, what's your job? And where do you work? So the first question is, do you work? And if the person says, yes, I do, the next question would be, what is your job? Or what's your job? And where do you work? And then this picture was of all different kinds of sports. Can you spot the sports? and you had to make a question. So you should have had, do you play sport? Do you play sport? Yes, I do, or no, I don't. Again, you're thinking about life now in the UK. Do you play sport? If the person says, yes, I do, then you could ask a couple more questions of what sport and when play. Can you pause now and write down those questions that you think might follow on from that first question? Don't forget to use present simple tense because we're thinking about life now in the UK. So pause, write down those questions. How did you do? So if the first question was, do you play sport? And the person said, yes, I do. The next question could be, what sport do you play? Or when do you play? Okay. So that was about life now in the UK. I'm going to change a little bit now. Do you remember at the beginning I said we're also going to look at life before in your country. Same thing, we're going to make questions and give answers. So I would like you to pause the button now and using the pictures to help you write down 3 questions, but this time you're going to use the past tense. So pause and write your questions now. How did you do? So for the first picture, you should have had, did you drive in your country? Question mark. And we've changed that do when we talk about now to did when we talk about before in your country. Did you drive in your country? The answer will either be yes, I did, or no, I didn't. Don't forget, we can shorten did not, didn't. Okay, moving on. Next question, next picture. Did you work? Again, you can pause the button here and have a look at these words. See if you can make 2 more questions. So pause the button now. So the first question is, did you work? Again, this is back in your country before. Did you work? Yes, I did. What was your job? And where did you work? What was your job? And where did you work? And the next question was about sport, but again, thinking about before in your country. Did you play sport? If the answer is yes, I did, there are 2 more questions. Pause and write down what you think those questions might be. Don't forget to use the past tense. How did you do? So the first question was, did you play sport? And if the answer was yes, I did, there are 2 more questions that you could ask. What sport did you play? When did you play? Don't forget to use that did in your questions, showing that we're talking about before, we're talking about the past. So that was just practicing asking and answering questions. Now I'm going to give the opportunity to listen to a man called Bill, We've got Bill in the picture here, talking about his life before and now. And you are going to listen and make some notes about his life. Let's have a look at the pictures first. It's good to look at them and think about what we're going to listen to. Do you know what this is a picture of? Yes, that's right. These are miners. Where do they work? Do they work in an office? No, they don't. You can see by their lights on their heads and their helmets, they work underground. They look for coal to make fires. And this picture here, yes, that's right, it's a pub. And this is Bill in the pub. So this is Bill here as a miner, and this is him in a pub. So you can see that already his life has changed. So you're going to listen and think about where did he work before and where does he work now? And you're going to listen to the story and also think about the hours, his hours that he worked before and now, his wife's job, his home, and the time that he spends with his family. So if you want to pause the button now, it might be good for you to write down those words on a piece of paper, and then you'll be able to listen carefully and write down about life now. Okay, so you're going to be focusing on his life now. So I'm going to play the recording about Bill now.
Unit 7, Bill's Story, Activity A2.
So, is your life very different now from before?
Oh yes, really different. Very different.
In what way?
Well, you know, I lived in a mining village in Yorkshire, and everybody did the same thing. We all worked down the pit.
Did you work in shifts?
Yes, we did. It was hard and dirty work, but somehow it wasn't so bad, because we all worked together.
And what do you do now?
Well, when the pit closed, my wife and I decided to move down south, to Dorset. Now she works in a supermarket and I work behind the bar in a pub.
And is that hard work?
No. It's not hard, but the hours are long, and I work most evenings, even Saturdays and Sundays. I didn't do that before. There can be problems. You know, some customers laugh at my northern accent, and that can be difficult.
And what about your family life?
I spent more time with my family before. Now I don't often see my children. I'm asleep when they go to school, and I'm not there in the evenings to help them with their homework. I'm not happy about it, but I need the job.
Okay, we're back again. I hope you heard that and understood that, and you can pause or you can rewind to listen to that one again. So, as we can see here, and when you listened, hopefully you heard that before Bill worked in a coal mine in Yorkshire. He usually worked shifts. His wife didn't have a job. He lived in Yorkshire before, and he spent a lot of time with his children. So, I hope you managed to find out some new information about his life now. Let's have a look. So, first of all, his job. So, he works in a pub in Dorset now. He works in the evening and at the weekend now. His wife works in a supermarket now. He lives in Dorset now. He doesn't often see his children now. So if we have a look at number 4, we've got a nice sentence there about the difference, the changes in his life. So if we look, it says Bill worked in a coal mine. So we've got ed here at the end of the verb indicating before, past tense. But now he works in a pub in Dorset. So his life has changed. So we use this word but. Notice we've got an S at the end of the verb, present simple tense, because we're talking about someone else. I work, he works. So it might be good for you to write some more sentences. So you can pause this video, this slide, and write some more sentences about Bill's life. For example, if we look at his hours, Bill usually worked shifts, but now he works in the evening and at the weekend. Or you could say, but he works in the evening and at the weekend now. Life is different. So see if you can write some sentences using but, because there are lots of changes in Bill's life about his wife's job, his home, and time for his family. And then finally, I'd like you to write some sentences about you, about changes in your life using but, or perhaps there are no changes in your life, so you can use this word and. So for example, you can talk about work before in your country and now. You could talk about where you live now, where you lived before. You could also talk about or write about sport that you do now, sport that you did before, perhaps driving too. So see if you can write some sentences about you using but and. Don't forget present tense for now, past tense for before. That's the end of the lesson. Thank you.